Every day I'm reviewing. Every day I'm reviewing. Every day. Rocker JCC here to review the latest mixtape from Rick Ross, the Black Bar Mitzvah. I'm not even gonna mention that terrible title. I'm just gonna be straightforward in this review. I'm really not the biggest fan of this guy. Nothing he's put out has ever really excited me that much. Every track I've heard of his just ranges from craptacular to mediocre. His solo work really doesn't excite me at all, and his guest verses don't do much either. I mean, they range from tracks like John on the Carter 4 that are just laughable, to his verses on tracks like Kanye's Devil in a New Dress, and that Drake track off of Take Care, Lord Knows, excuse that. They just kind of, tracks like those two, they just ride the median for me. They just don't do that much. They don't hurt, they don't help, they just in the middle. That being said, this is my first full length from the Teflon Don, and while that might not really give me the right to review this thing, I went in with an open mind. I was really hoping I would enjoy this thing. I would go into this and maybe, take something away from it and want to check out some of his albums and more of his work. But I was way off the mark. This mixtape justified all my preconceived notions of Mr. Rick Ross and brought up a lot of things that just pissed me off. The Black Bar Mitzvah is Rick Ross's answer to Dedication 4. He jumps on all the hottest beats at the moment, a lot of which Lil Wayne actually already went over on Dedication 4. But you see, Rick doesn't just go over these beats and make them own, which he should have. He instead just pastes his verse into the already made song like it was a remix or something, and that just poses so many problems. One, he is not adding anything to these tracks at all. He doesn't steal the spotlight, and he clearly is overshadowed on pretty much every single one of these tracks. Two, the original songs are just a million times better without his crappy verse. This might not be a big problem on most mixtapes when you just go over the beat, because you don't have the original right there to compare it to. But on the Black Bar Mitzvah, it's right there. He just pastes it right in front of it, right in the middle, somewhere on it, and it just makes him look so bad. It's almost embarrassing at some points on here. 3, Ross and all his little underlings on MMG that are added, they push the track lengths to 5 to over 7 minutes. That makes this tape extremely too long for what it is. 4, when I listen to these tracks, I actually forget I'm listening to this mixtape. I think I'm listening to the originals most of the time, because that's pretty much what it is with the exception of his verse. I'll be thinking, I'm listening to Mercy right now, or Click, or Birthday Song, or that band's Make Her Dance, Juicy J song. How can you even take this as a proper project when you forget you're listening to it while you listen to it? No. The way Ross approaches these tracks just makes me believe this is just a quick push to promote the MMG tour that's coming up. And I know this is probably way off, but I see it as a really terrible way to try to get radio play through like those big DJ mixes. You know the ones I'm talking about, where they take the original song, then add in a rapper's remix, and another rapper's remix, into one kind of continuous long remix you hear, usually later at night. He actually already does this himself on like the tracks like Burn, where he puts his verse on there, adds Lil Wayne's from Dedication 4, and then keeps the originals from Meek Mill and Big Sean. No, Rick Ross, no. It's just lazy in my opinion, and in a way I feel like he's trying to add cred to this mixtape. If you added up all the samples and original, parts on this tape, he has features from Jay-Z, Kanye, Lil Wayne, Big Sean, Chief Keef, and Extra 2 Chainz, which is on every single mixtape nowadays. 2 Chainz? Throughout almost this whole thing, Ross just feels like he does not belong at all. It really takes me back to the first Rick Ross song I ever heard. It was his remix of Swagger Like Us from T.I. and Jay-Z and a whole bunch of other people. And he opens it up by going, "How could you forget me?" And then just raps really mediocrely and then tacks on the original verses. I mean, I'm pretty sure they didn't forget you, Rick. You weren't wanted in the first place. Alright, as much as I've just shit completely on this tape, I mean, it's not all that terrible. Specifically the second half of the tape, where he raps on beats he sounds pretty good over. I use that term loosely. Two of the tracks are actually remixes of his original tracks. And what do you know, they're, I guess, my favorites on here. I also use that term loosely. The first is a remix of his track 9/11 with 2 Chainz on it. Ross sounds okay, and 2 Chainz does 2 Chainz. The second is the remix of Presidential, but I really only enjoy it because of the features and the production. I mean, just God bless Pharrell. If I had to name others that weren't horrible and were pretty tolerable, I guess No Worries, because the original is extremely catchy, and of course that carries over. And the closer Itchin' was pretty decent, I have to say. But really, Ross just doesn't do anything of value on this mixtape. He's just overshadowed and forgotten throughout. Oh, and there are 4 bonus tracks on here, which I really don't care to talk about, but I will. First one, there's a pretty decent Omarion hook. The second is a Gunplay song, Bible in the Dash, and I actually dig that one. I really love the production on that track. The next is, I think it's a Meek Mill track, and the auto-tune just sounds stupid. And then the last one is just pretty much a commercial for the MMG tour, which I will not be going to, even though it's in Nashville. Just not a fan of MMG in general. Really not. So, in conclusion, Rick Ross's The Black Bar Mitzvah. With this mixtape, you just get a sloppier, worse dedication 4 that lasts way too long, and it's pretty much just shameless promotion. There are certain formulas mixtapes can follow, and this is one that I really wish MCs would shy away from. It's just shameless promotion. Don't do this. Put effort into your mixtape. Make it more like an actual album than just a free promotional tool that you use on Daptive. I mean, make it a full release for your fans and something that can be respected by listeners, critics, anyone. Just make a nice, complete work. Just don't do a shameless promotional mixtape such as this. So, as always, Rocker JCC, stay hustling.